Hi everybody, No Mind here. In today's video, I wanted to make a complete guide to the Affliction League mechanic. I released a guide a couple of weeks ago during League launch, and honestly, we didn't have a lot of information that we do now, so I kind of wanted to make one more final guide with everything we know about the League mechanic so far. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Alright guys, let's start with the Blue Wisp here. Blue Wisp grant monsters damage reduction, a more critical strike chance, and a more critical strike multiplier. They also grant the monsters the ability to drop more currency items. So that's like the trade-off. They make him way more deadlier, but they also make him drop currency items. In my experience, if you have a lot of Blue Wisp and you do a high-end tier map, you're gonna get at least a few Divine Orbs. In my experience, again, your mileage may vary depending on the type of content you're doing and the amount of juice you're adding to your maps. Alright guys, then there are the Vivid Wisps, which also grant monsters damage reduction, but they also just increase the monster's speed, which it sounds very mild, but that can get dangerous really fast depending on the quantity of Vivid Wisp you have. But in return, they also grant monsters more item quantity, which means your monsters will just drop more loot. So pretty straightforward. And then lastly, there are the Wild Wisps, which are the purple wisp. They also grant monsters damage reduction, but they also grant monsters additional projectiles and more area of effect based on the quantity of wisp you've collected in the area. They also grant in return more item rarity, so basically your items will be more unique items and more rare items. So again, as you can see here, these wisps alone make the monsters more dangerous, but if you combine everything, if you combine all these wisps together, they're giving monsters more speed, more critical strike chance, a more critical strike multiplier, and more projectiles and more area of effect. And again, guys, these are more multipliers. So basically in PoE, the word more typically means multiplication. So combined with your map mods and everything, this can make these monsters very deadly, very fast if you have a combination of all three wisps. But also, it can also give you a lot of loot if you have all three combinations of these wisps. Alright guys, I quickly wanted to go over the diamond strategy that has been discovered. Basically, somebody named Fubgun, who's a streamer on Twitch, and he also has a YouTube channel, just Google, or not Google, I guess you could Google Fubgun PoE to kind of check out his video on it, but here's kind of my illustration of it. Basically, you want to imagine the Wildwood as a diamond. You have event on each side of the diamond. They're not going to be exactly across from each other. They might be like here, they might be like here. From my testing alone, that's kind of what I've discovered. The little dots are kind of like the wisp trail illustration. Again, these wisp trails are not exactly like this. I just kind of did it for illustration purposes. And you can basically spawn, when you first enter the Wildwood, you basically spawn anywhere in this area. You can spawn in the middle, like here, or like you can spawn here. And your first thing should be to just follow the trail of wisps that lead you to the first event. And from there, you kind of want to back out and like try to find another trail of wisps that maybe leads you to the second event. And once you have the location of two events, it should be pretty easy to pinpoint the location of the other two events. The only limiting factor is the wisp energy you have that basically limits the time you have in the Wildwood. Basically, the more you explore, the less time you have in the Wildwood, and eventually the wisp energy will dissipate, forcing you to exit. You can find the white wisp, as you've seen here. This can extend your time in the Wildwood, so these are pretty useful. It's very rare to probably get all 4 events. You should probably shoot for just discovering 2 events per Wildwood encounter. 3 is pretty good. You could probably do 3 if you're very skilled and go slow at the mechanic, but discovering all 4 will require you to catch like the white wisps that are in the Wildwood to extend your time in the Wildwood. So without further ado, let's kind of jump into my live demonstration. Hopefully it's not too scuffed. Alright guys, I'm going to attempt to demonstrate the diamond strategy that I've been talking about. So we're in a spot here where we spawn. We don't know where we are. The first thing you want to do basically is follow the wisp. Okay, forget about the diamond strategy for a second and just follow the wisp trail and see where it leads, because you're spawning at a random location in the forest and you don't really know where you're going. And also, if you see like these smaller wisps, I'm pretty sure they just refresh the duration so you can stay in the Wildwood longer. And also, if you encounter an NPC, this means this is an event, okay guys? If you encounter any kind of NPC, if you are walking in a big area just like reveals itself, that counts as an event. So again, we found one of the events. There are 4 events total that we know of that can only spawn in the Wildwood at one time. So we found one of the 4. It's very unlikely that you're going to get all 4 events in the Wildwood because you're just not going to have enough wisp power to kind of find all these 4 events. Unless you collect a lot of the white wisps, which I just did a few seconds ago. Which, you know, that can happen and you can get extremely lucky. Alright, so we have one of the encounters here. And now I'm just going to leave. And again, we don't know where we are in the diamond ship right now, you know. We just have one master here. And, you know, there could be like a event up here. There could be an event down here. We just don't know. So what I recommend in this case, I just recommend like going back and following another wisp trail. So again, we have another trail here, so I'm gonna follow this and hopefully it leads somewhere, right? And I'm following the wisp trail. Following. And again, we have another area that is revealed to us, and it's another master, which is pretty funny, another NPC. Always check the NPC to see if they have any cool things for sale. You can price check these pretty easily. And, you know, some of these vendors can be selling some pretty big items, especially the Primal Huntress. For example, if you get a charm with, like, skills, fire, and additional projectile, that's like 70, 80 divines right now on the market. Last time I checked, at least. So I'm going to try to find the other event now. So I feel like this event and then the previous event, they're kind of east and west. So I'm going to go ahead and try to maybe follow something down here, and maybe we'll get lucky with another event. So again, guys, always follow the wisp if you're uncertain of where to go. The wisp will never lead you astray. And look at this, guys. We have an event down here. So if we look at our diamond map, so we had an east and a west event, and now we have a southern event, which means the last event is most likely to the north of us. So if we just kind of carefully go up there, I don't think I have enough wisp to make it to the northern event, unfortunately, but that's where it would most likely be. So let me just see if I can try it. I doubt this will be successful because it is really hard to get all of the wisp events. You know, yeah, see, I kind of messed up. I don't even know if that was the right play, but hopefully you guys understand. I'm gonna leave this diamond information up here. Again, with this diamond graph, you can spawn anywhere in the wildwood, and you just kind of have to follow the wisp trail to find your first event. And then you have to follow another, preferably a different wisp trail, to kind of find your second event. And once you have 2 events, then you should be able to pinpoint the other 2 event locations if the layout isn't too confusing. But with all the rocks and trees that are in the way, guys, it can definitely get a little disorienting. So, you know, don't feel bad if you can't find all the events. It's highly unlikely that you're going to find 3 like we did in this video. But I feel like 2 is a pretty manageable number of events to find every time you're in the wildwood. And again, guys, I quickly wanted to mention, to find the masters, to find the Warden of the Magi Ascendancy master that gives you the quest, you have to follow the yellow wisp trails. To find the Breaker of Oaths, you have to follow the purple wisp. And to find the Primal Huntress, you have to follow the blue wisp. And for their corresponding quests, I'm pretty sure you can follow the corresponding colors to the NPCs that I just mentioned previously a few seconds ago to help complete their quest a lot faster. And one more thing I wanted to cover, guys. The King of the Mist, the final boss in Affliction League, there are 2 versions of him that you can encounter in the Wildwood. If you're running anything that's under tier 14 maps, you'll just find him like an event, and he'll be like out in the open, and you know, he'll cast some spells and everything like that. And if you defeat him there, it's not really killing him, but he'll escape, and he'll just drop like a ritual vessel and some other items maybe. But to actually find him and fight him and kill him for good, you have to find him in tier 14 and above maps. I have a bossing guide on him, and it'll show you exactly like what it looks like, and like how to summon the portal and how to fight him and everything like that. So yeah, check out that video, guys. I'll have it hopefully in the video thumbnail somewhere here too. And again, guys, thank you so much for watching my little guide. Hopefully I covered everything in this video. If you found this guide helpful, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps small creators like me out to really get my name out there. So thank you for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. No Mind out.